Question 32. How do double binds create physical illnesses in the entity? Instantly what comes into my mind is double bind inducing psychological conflicts and troubles and potential future neurosis and psychosis for human beings. That double bind is a brilliant concept developed by two great psychologists by name Albert Bandura and Walters. It's a brilliant concept, especially in the context of dysfunctional behavior or psychological anomalies. Double bind, that means bound from either side or more than one side. A simple example of double bind communication, it is basically about communication. Double bind communication of parents. The mother asks the child, do you love me more or your father? The little baby is in a terrible crisis, in a terrible dilemma, what to say. And the baby is in trouble. Should it talk the truth of what it feels? Both. The mother would, most of the time, would not tolerate that both. How can a mother ask a little baby? Of course, I don't think a mother would ask a 14-year-old boy or a girl. So, from early childhood, that psychological processes are undergoing terrible conflicts, terrible blockage of linkages. It is equally attached, it is equally linkaged to the father as well as the mother. Sometimes that the child has a certain element of dislike for the kind of punishing, angry, shouting mother. Because the child most of the time interacts with the mother than the father. Father goes for work in the morning or the daytime. So the child has apparently a dislike for the mother, and the mother also intuitively senses that the child has not that much of an affinity to me. That's why that mother asks also. Then it adds on to the blockage of the linkage or the linkage problem. If that linkage is a circuit, a flow, like the flow of the engine oil inside an engine, if it is blocked, the engine will be in trouble and gradually the cylinder block will crack. Why a human being has so many range of so much kind of illnesses? When every cat and bird and rat are almost impeccably healthy, why the human beings have all this diabetes and all kinds of syndromes? So, especially those who live in comfort zones, I have seen, relatively upper middle class and affluent people, the illnesses are much more stronger and serious. Most of these modern hospitals look like 5-star hotels, and more or less the majority of the patients coming there are from rich backgrounds. Why they have these many illnesses? Because basically by the theory of Ayurveda, especially the Rasayanic domain of Ayurveda, which I have mastered, it is due to the double bind quality of the food they eat. Very hot, whatever, chicken or meat, during the intake of that with damn cold Coca-Cola or ice cold water. Now fridge is a fashion everywhere, children come and drink simply ice cold water during summer season. But actually during summer season one should drink normal water or even slightly warm water, because the body is hot. And then you are applying ice cold water into that body. The body is, I don't know, if the body could talk, that and if the hands of that body could hit itself, the hands would have hit the eyes of that boy who does this nonsense. Then wrong food configurations. Modern foods, it's all very tasty, but fundamentally not okay. Living in palace-like comforts, how could they develop Parkinsonism? What a tragedy. Food problem. Let us say, double bind is about the food. Then the double bind of various kinds. Human beings do not know how to manage their body, how to walk, how to sit, how to sleep, all these things. Double bind here is the normal body, original body has a certain design and structure and process. and the so-called educated consciousness of some other notions, and they mismanage the movements and the moments of the body. So double bind. General people have not much problem. I am living in a location of the poorest of poor in Tamil Nadu. All kinds of illnesses are there with the people in Coimbatore city. And here in the Suri, of course, simple fever or a cough. Irumbalam Kachalu in Tamil language. Other than that, there is no diabetes, there is no cholesterol, there is no cancer, there is none of the so-called serious illnesses. On one side, the body is saying that food is enough, and on the other side, the greedy mind is ingesting more and more tasty, costly, so-called costly, imported kind of food. Every animal stops eating the food at the appropriate time. I have experimented with that. And we had a Rajapalayam dog, fresh milk, and a big bowl full of milk. It just takes the half of it and walks away. Even little babies, anybody who might have observed, they would vomit the exact extra quantity of milk it was taken. That extra quantity also it unknowingly takes because of the comfort of the body of the mother and things like that. And whatever extra quantity it vomits. I have seen dozens of cases. The little baby says, "That's enough, mama, that's enough, mama, and I don't need it." The mama is telling, "Take a little more, baby, take a little more, baby, take a little more, baby." It is a double bind from different directions. Okay? Then the timetable. 8:30 breakfast, 1 o'clock lunch, 5 o'clock whatever, 8:30 dinner. Timetable. The human organism is not that. The 3-year-old baby, it does not need food exactly at 8:30 a.m. And the so-called mother, by her ego, by her false understanding or wrong understanding, forces the child to take it. And with a hesitation, the child takes it, and finally it loses all linkages with the body by overeating, leading to illnesses, for example. That's a double bind from a different angle.
It's 19 hours.
Okay.